Visitors to Minnesota's Twin Cities will be offered twin attractions this weekend. Only one of them is a Super Bowl. James Satori reports on a St. Paul tradition.
The Ice King and Royal Court paraded through the streets of St. Paul, kicking off the 106th Winter Carnival, the city's annual frolic in the freeze. To visitors, last night's 30-degree weather was brisk. Not so to hearty Minnesotans.
It's spring, like spring.
They gotta get used to this weather.
Yeah, hey, and it's warm right now.
It's warm.
The festivities coincide with Super Bowl weekend in Minneapolis this year and include a tradition dating back to the carnival's beginnings, the construction of an ice palace, this one 16 stories high.
Well, it just so happens that they decided to have this Super Bowl, and we were already having the ice palace, so we thought, you know what the heck, we'll put them together and have a party.
We don't build them very often in St. Paul, but when we do build them, we build them big, as you can see.
And not from just any ice. 650-pound blocks were cut from one of Minnesota's clearest lakes and trucked to St. Paul's Harriet Island, where construction workers spent weeks turning 20,000 industrial ice cubes into a world record-size castle with 12 towers. The cost, a cool $1 million.
It is the largest ice structure ever conceived and built.
The public isn't allowed inside, but it wasn't always that way. Back at the turn of the century, the first palaces had ornate hallways and rooms. This year, the only things inside are scaffolding and laser lights. And at the appointed time last night, the palace was bathed in electronic wizardry before a crowd of more than 100,000. A winter spectacle which may just soothe those Super Bowl fans who've come here longing for castles on the beach. James Satori, CBS News, St. Paul.
9 minutes past the hour, time to check in with Mark McEwen. You know, Mark, if people stick around a little bit later on.
Ideas for making your Super Bowl party really super.
Are you still in the dark about your hard water problems? Well, your Culligan man is ready to help you solve those problems with products and services that serve millions of homes every day. From the smallest applications to Culligan's top-of-the-line aqua sensor, America calls the Culligan man for purchase or rental, yes, rental, of world-famous Culligan water conditioners. Ask your Culligan man about his automatic rental program. There's no long-term obligation and never a charge for service or repair. Or ask your Culligan man about his monthly tank recycling program, Culligan's exclusive low-cost system that requires absolutely no electricity, salt, or maintenance. The phones are ringing at Culligan right now because right now, for a limited time, your participating Culligan man offers basic installation of any Culligan unit for just $10. Remember, Culligan services all brands of water softeners and delivers salt, too. So whatever your need, trust the experts.
Hey, Culligan man!
Call your Culligan man now.
You need a powerful office computer. Now Best Buy lets you bring that power home with his Packard Bell 386SX computer with a 100 meg hard drive, 2 meg memory, mouse, modem, software, VGA color monitor, Epson letter quality printer, and more for just $15.98. A 386SX package with printer, just $15.98 at Best Buy. It gives you the power to handle just about anything and opens time for more important things.
In these hard times, everyone is looking for a bargain. You want the best deal for your money, but do you really know how to buy smart? Ralph Nader gives inside tips on how to be a frugal shopper in these hard times. Next on A Hue. Thursday morning at 8.
Jessica's husband loves his mother more than her.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No, you said I am talking to my husband.
I hate being married to a mama's boy on the next Sally.
Thursday morning at 9 on Channel 4.
"18 minutes after the hour, the Super Bowl is this Sunday, and if you didn't quite manage to score tickets for the big game, the next best thing is a Super Bowl party. And joining us now with some ideas for making your party better is the director of the Betty Crocker Test Kitchens in the Super Bowl city of Minneapolis, Marcia Copeland. Good morning.
Good morning, Harry. Nice to have you with us.
Are people really pumped up in the Twin Cities for the game this weekend?
They really are. There are going to be lots of parties. People have an opportunity to participate in a lot of experiences, even if they don't have tickets.
All right, show us some of the food stuff you've got ready for us for our Super Bowl party this weekend.
All right, well, Harry, what we've tried to do is to plan some things that people could do very simply and easily so they don't have to spend several days in the kitchen. We want them to use ingredients they have in their kitchen. We have a cheese ball that's shaped like a football, and you can either go to the deli and buy that. You like that?
You can make that yourself? Did you make that?
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
We rolled it in chopped nuts, and then we've used sliced cheese to sort of simulate the laces.
Can you throw that?
And then, well, I'd be a little careful unless you
Okay.
want to sweep up a lot of nuts.
All right, what else you got?
And then we have a snack mix that's made with microwave popcorn and cereal, and then it has Worcestershire sauce and butter and some seasoned salt. Really a good snacking mix that the whole family will enjoy.
Mm-hmm. Couldn't have a
Easy to
snack
prepare.
without Cheerios in it, right?
Oh, you're right, Harry.
Betty Crocker
we think
Kitchens.
that's really
we understand
important.
how this works. What else?
Right.
I like the watermelon thing there.
Isn't that fun? We've taken a watermelon that's sort of shaped like a football, and then we filled it with fruit that we just went to the supermarket and purchased so that the consumer doesn't have to spend lots of time doing that. And then we've shaped goalposts at the very end of the watermelon to sort of carry out the theme. So we think that's kind of fun and adds a little bit to the theme.
Very nice. What's in front of that?
Well, we're going to serve chicken sandwiches today, and we call this half-time chicken with thyme, the herb. And you like that too? We've marinated this in lemon juice and thyme, and a little bit of garlic. And then we're going to serve them on buns with sliced tomatoes and lettuce. And we think that'll make a really great main dish. Now, we've happened to grill these because the weather's been mild up until today, and I suspect that your audience might want to do that too.
Okay, and what's in the little basket there? Those
Well,
are the...
these are the rolls, Harry, that we're going to serve the chicken on. And we don't happen to have them split, but the chicken is good just the way it is or within the rolls itself.
Oh, there you go. And the desserts look especially good.
Oh, aren't they fun? That's one of the things we're most popular for, as you know, here. And we have a football cake, and this is done with a carrot cake mix, and then we frosted it. We've tinted the coconut, and we've used flexible straws to make the goalpost. That's something that the kids could help with.
Right.
And again, these are not complex things to do. They really add a little bit of extra. And then we've made some football cookies, and we've used a favorite ginger recipe, and then we've cut out patterns out of cardboard to make the helmet and the football, and used plain white frosting to decorate. If you're fortunate enough to have a cutter, then that will work well too. But the cardboard works exceptionally well.
What's the cardboard football there? What is that thing right to your left there?
Well, we suspect that many of the people will be eating the meal while they're sitting in front of the television set, and so we've cut cardboard lapboards out of and decorated them to look like footballs so that it's a little easier to eat. And then we have special napkins and whistles just to continue to carry out the theme. The tablecloth is felt, and we just went to a local stationery store to buy the tape and the numbers to make it look especially like a football field today.
Marcia, you are Betty Crocker, I do believe. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
You.
Have a good weekend. Enjoy the Super Bowl. I guess we're not going to be losing
best.
much weight this weekend either, right?
Well, that's not the intent of Super Bowl weekend.
Thanks. Paula?
22 minutes past the hour, still ahead, Gloria Steinem and Sybil Shepherd.
Our corrosive weather can cut the value of your car in half. That's why Z-Bar Tidy Car is cutting its rust protection package by 40%. Just $319.95 for Z-Bar Rust Protection, Fabric Protection, and Underbody Sound Barrier. 40% off our rust protection package, now just $319.95. Save on our rust protection package and save your car. Z-Bar Tidy Car, for better looking, longer lasting cars. 7 locations to serve you. See your white pages.
Litton Paper presents You Make the Call. Tom and Nina Roberts will be having a football party in 2 hours. They need party supplies. What do? You make the call.
Litton Paper is Minnesota's official big game party store with football plates, napkins, decorations, and more. Also, check out Litton's popular football party kit.
For the best selection and lowest prices, they went to Litton Paper. For your super party, you make the call to Litton Paper.
The whole idea behind Chicken by George was to make an easy, great-tasting meal that was good for you. Well, to me, good for you means fresh, healthy, no preservatives, less than 200 calories. But what I keep hearing is how fast and easy they are. Or they're just great for when my husband gets home late. Or the kids get to pick their favorite. One can have lemon herb while the other has mesquite barbecue. Well, you know, I like that. You all have your own reasons why Chicken by George is good for you. And I say, good for you.
United Stores are your weather stores, outfitting you for your work and outdoors. United is now holding their biggest and best sales event of the season. Savings of 20, 30, 40% off their regular everyday low prices. Save like never before on jackets, jeans, sweaters, shirts, everything in the store. See it to believe it. Then buy the name brand bargains store-wide. United Stores, 15 Twin City area locations.
When the NFL chose Minnesota for the Super Bowl, it also chose GMC Truck. You should too. Choose Sierra and get $500 cash back or GMAC financing. Choose Safari and get $750 cash back. Choose a Sonoma pickup and get your choice of the rebate or the GMAC finance rate. Or choose a Jimmy and get up to $1,500 cash back. This winter, choose GMC Truck. About the only thing better would be a snowmobile. See your Vikingland GMC Truck dealer today.
Good morning, I'm Bill Carlson with a look at some of the local and regional news on this morning of Thursday, January 23rd. It's 7:25 a.m. Our official Twin Cities temperature reading is 22 degrees. We're expecting a windy and cloudy day with falling temperatures, and we'll have more on the weather in just a couple of minutes. Attracting attention from across the nation last night, the lighting of the St. Paul Winter Carnival Ice Palace. The tallest ever built at 166 feet. It cost an estimated $800,000 and is expected to attract 2 million visitors in the next 12 days. The palace lighting ceremonies were just part of the kickoff activities for this year's Winter Carnival, attracting an unusual amount of national and international attention because of the fact it spans the Super Bowl this year. Last night, a second event, the annual Torchlight Parade, was also attracted thousands of participants and spectators. Yesterday's 19th anniversary of the Roe v. Wade Supreme Court abortion decision triggered demonstrations on both sides of that controversial issue across the nation. In the Twin Cities, the Rock for Choice concert last night at First Avenue nightclub in Minneapolis was typical of efforts to raise funds and register voters on the choice side of the issue. Earlier in the day, abortion opponents turned out a crowd of an estimated 7,500 people at the state capitol to declare their opposition. Meanwhile, Governor Arne Carlson said he will back a state abortion rights bill if the U.S. Supreme Court overturns its decision legalizing abortion. But Carlson says he prefers legislators focus on balancing the budget and not take up the abortion issue until 1993. In sports, the North Stars and the LA Kings battled to a 3-all tie last night. The basketball Gophers made it a valiant effort but lost to Ohio State 72-69. Tonight, the Timberwolves try to break out of a 6-game losing streak when they host the Detroit Pistons, one of only 3 teams they have never beaten. We'll check the weather once again after this.
This is when corn really needs to be babied, the tender young age of 4 weeks, because it's vulnerable to weeds and to herbicides that aren't gentle. That's why you should pamper your corn with Ladic from BASF, the gentlest post-emergence broadleaf herbicide you can buy. Ladic lets you be sure that one day your crop will grow up to achieve its full potential. Ladic, it's tough on weeds, but it's gentle on corn. Ladic is a restricted use pesticide.
Give your kids a video game and it'll last a couple of years. Give them a bicycle, it may last its way through childhood. But give your kids a chance to do something that soars beyond their imagination, and they'll take home something that will last forever. This year, take home a Club Med vacation. Call your travel agent or 1-800-CLUB-MED.
There's a gigantic Super Bowl weekend sale going on at Tonka Ford in Minnetonka. This Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, you'll find brand new 1992 Ford Explorers on sale at 4% over the factory invoice. That's right, the Ford Explorer, the #1 selling utility vehicle in America, is on sale this Super Bowl weekend at Tonka Ford at 4% over the actual factory invoice. You can buy and you can save this Super Bowl weekend at Tonka Ford in Minnetonka, west of 494 at Highway 7 and 101. Tonka Ford.
The Weather Center tells us we can expect cloudy and very windy conditions today, colder temperatures with scattered flurries, temperatures falling into the mid to upper teens. We very likely have seen the high for the day already at the present temperature of 22 degrees. And that's it for now. We'll have complete news later on the news at noon. In a moment, we'll return to CBS This Morning. I'm Bill Carlson.
Tickets going fast. Don't miss it. Live it at the Minneapolis Convention Center.
You need a powerful office computer. Now Best Buy lets you bring that power home with its Packard Bell 386SX computer with a 100 meg hard drive, 2 meg memory, mouse, modem, software, VGA color monitor, Epson letter quality printer, and more for just $15.98. A 386SX package with printer, just $15.98 at Best Buy. It gives you the power to handle just about anything and opens time for more important things.
Now watch the bouncing balls at 6:50, only on Channel 4.
Fire and ice. Last night's spectacular laser show at the St. Paul Winter Carnival earlier this morning. I had it in the wrong city of the Twin Cities, St. Paul. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to CBS This Morning. I'm Paula Zahn. We've already gotten phone calls. Sorry, folks.
You put the Winter Carnival in Minneapolis?
I did that. Not on purpose, though. Wow. It's a sort of human kind of thing.
You knew it was in St. Paul.
Absolutely, I did.
It was just a kind of a
well, you
slip
had
of the tongue
told us for a half hour what it took to make it.
Or to get the ice. And we're going to really explain that in a couple of minutes. Welcome back to CBS This Morning. In a couple of minutes, we're going to go live to St. Paul to meet the architect of the biggest ice castle you'll ever see.
The wind is a real waker-upper this morning. This is meteorologist Bill Anderson. Our forecast: cloudy, very windy, and much colder today with a few scattered flurries. Temperatures will fall into the mid and upper teens and remain rather steady there.
That's the weather for today and for tomorrow. Back to my onion dip buddy, Harry.
Thanks, Mark. The folks at the St. Paul Winter Carnival got quite a show last night. "250 lasers lit up the biggest ice palace in the world. 150 feet tall, almost 17 million pounds of ice. As you might guess, it was no easy task to put that all together. Isn't that something? Wow. Joining us now from St. Paul is the sculptor, Larry Fisher, who is a professor at St. Paul Technical College. Good morning, Larry.
Good morning.
Tell me a little bit about how, well... we'll talk about some of the smaller pieces in a second, but I want to know a little bit more about how you put that incredible ice palace together. How were you involved in all of that?
Well, I was asked to help detail the castle in terms of the architectural structure, the windows and the archway at the entry, and some of the decorations around the castle, and dragon and some other carvings.
I can't imagine that this is a very common skill, being able to build an ice castle.
Well, I didn't build the castle. We had over 100 AFL-CIO laborers who built the castle, donated half of their time. That's out of my league, building the castle. I just decorated. I'm just the carver.
Just the carver.
Just the carver.
Where did you learn how to carve ice?
I learned it, the first time I carved ice was at St. Paul Technical College in the chef training program, and I teach in that program now.
Is that pretty common if I were to go off to cooking school or chef school, that one of my courses would be ice carving?
It's very common, and it's a common decoration for buffet tables, hotels, cruise ships, private clubs, those types of people. There's a big market for this skill.
And our sources tell us that you are very, very good at this. Now, you were involved in the 48-hour competition there?
That's correct.
And what did you work on this time?
The name of the sculpture was Galatea. It's taken from Greek mythology. It's a figure of a woman inside a Greek Parthenon type structure. We had 20 blocks of ice. They're 10 inches by 20 inches by 40 inches. Each one weighs about 300 pounds. We had 20 of those to carve.
And so the people in this competition get 2 days to really come up with something pretty creative then.
That's correct. You'll have an opportunity to shoot those sculptures, I'm sure, somebody at CBS.
We I have some pictures of some of them right now, and the detail is just phenomenal. I'm amazed at how somebody with can make these kinds of things out of ice. You've got some tools right in front of you there. Why don't you give us a little demonstration?
Well, I can do that. We use a chainsaw quite a bit. Don't tell the manufacturers. And that gives us a kind of a sawing motion. We can do that with hand tools, but they're more impact. When you do it with hand chisels, you tend to want to chip away a little quicker on the ice. This is a shaver. We use a variety of other wood carving tools here. This is another big something along these lines for some of the shaping and detailing.
Interesting.
Most of the work is done with relief cuts prior to the use of the chisel.
Well, Larry, it's very impressive, and the ice castle is really something to see. Thank you for taking a couple of minutes to talk to us on a cold Twin City morning. Do appreciate it, sir, and
You're
congratulations.
welcome.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Paula?
Thanks, Harry. 19 minutes before the hour. Coming up next, Gloria Steinem on inner strength and self-esteem.
Dear Folgers, I tried the Folgers switch on 3 of my fellow sisters. Instead of our usual ground coffee, I made Folgers crystals. They all complimented me on the taste and aroma. "You do make wonderful fresh brewed coffee," was repeated more than once. They never realized it was Folgers crystals.
People who thought they were drinking fresh brewed coffee were secretly switched to Folgers crystals.
Tastily yours, Sister Mary Norbert Bauer.